Good evening. Beware of false knowledge. It is more dangerous than ignorance. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. His Majesty the King to participate in Jeddah Security and Development Summit. Importance of developing infrastructure projects highlighted. Strong Bahrain-France relations praised. Kuwait remains cheapest Gulf country in 2022. Sri Lankan President resigned and Ranil Wickremesinghe sworn in as interim Sri Lankan President. Detail. His Majesty the King to participate in Jeddah Security and Development Summit. His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa will tomorrow depart for Saudi Arabia to lead the kingdom's delegation to the Jeddah Security and Development Summit, the Royal Court announced today. His Majesty the King is participating in the key summit hosted by Saudi Arabia at the invitation of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud. Importance of developing infrastructure projects highlighted. Finance and National Economy Minister Sheikh Salman bin Khalifa Al Khalifa signed two agreements between Bahrain and the Abu Dhabi Fund for Development worth $41 million and the Abu Dhabi Export Office at a value of $51 million. Abu Dhabi Fund for Development Director General Mohammed Saif Al Suwaidi and ATEX Acting Director General Khalil Fadl Al Mansouri are visiting the kingdom to sign the two agreements to finance the project to develop water transmission networks associated with the second phase of the Al Dur station in Bahrain. Sheikh Salman emphasized the deep-rooted Bahrain-UAE relations and their continuous development, accorded by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and UAE President Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan. Bahraini ambassador to Britain follows upon GCC free trade negotiations with UK. The ambassador of the Kingdom of Bahrain to the United Kingdom, Sheikh Fawaz bin Mohammed Al Khalifa, chaired the Gulf Cooperation Council side in the first meeting of GCC ambassadors with the British Secretary of International Trade, Anne-Marie Trevelyan, on the free trade negotiations between both sides in the presence of the UK Chief Negotiator, Tom Wintle, and several senior officials. They discussed the latest developments in the ongoing negotiations on the free trade agreement between the GCC countries and the United Kingdom and the expected economic gains for both sides in terms of activating trade and investments, supporting small and medium enterprises, joint cooperation and exchanging experiences in the areas of digital transformation, artificial intelligence, education, financial services, renewable energy and other advantages. His Majesty the King's approach has promoted human rights, said lawmaker. Chairman of the Human Rights Committee and member of the Foreign Affairs, Defence and National Security Committee at the Council of Representatives, MP Amr Ahmad Al-Banai, has affirmed that His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa's reform project has promoted human rights principles and consolidated the kingdom's outstanding human rights renaissance. The lawmaker commended the issuance of a royal decree pardoning 107 inmates who were convicted in various court cases and have served part of their jail terms, confirms His Majesty the King's ongoing approach to enhance the human rights principles and activate the role of community partnership in light of the comprehensive development process witnessed by the kingdom under His Majesty King Hamad's leadership. ISSA Award for Service to Humanity jury completed 2 arbitration rounds. An international jury has finished the first 2 arbitration rounds of the 5th edition of ISSA Award for Service to Humanity 2021. His Majesty the King's Special Representative, ISSA Award for Service to Humanity, Board of Trustees Chairman, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Mubarak Al Khalifa, was updated about results of the panel's meetings, which were held remotely. He praised the efforts and expertise of the committee, which established the first shortlist of the candidates, one of whom is likely to win the prize at the final count. The committee will meet again to set a second shortlist before assigning the General Secretariat to conduct its field research to verify the information received about each candidate in the final shortlist. Strong Bahrain-France relations praised. On behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, Acting Under Secretary for Consular and Administrative Affairs, Ambassador Khalil Yaqub Al Kayat, participated in the reception hosted by the French Embassy on the occasion of the National Day of the French Republic, which falls on the 14th of July. The ceremony was also attended by a number of senior officials and members of the diplomatic corps accredited to the Kingdom of Bahrain. Al-Kayat expressed his sincere congratulations to the French Republic, leadership, government and people, and to the French ambassador to the Kingdom of Bahrain, Jerome Couchard, and members of the French community. Minister visited Child Protection Center. Social Development Minister Osama bin Ahmed Khalaf Al Asfour has paid a visit to the Child Protection Center in Gudaibiya. During the visit, the minister discussed with officials and employees work plans, the assessment procedures, and the follow-up of the child abuse cases. The center, which is dedicated to protect children until the age of 18, receives directly reports of child abuse in addition to cases referred from the relevant authorities. He was briefed about the mechanism for receiving incoming calls on the toll-free 998 Child Rescue and Support line in complete secrecy to direct and guide children and provide appropriate options to solve their problems, thus contributing to preserve their rights. Today's COVID updates. COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. Mahsura Slow Line closed. The Works Ministry has announced the closure of the slow line on Mahsura Avenue in Rifa at the junction with Al-Istiqlal Highway for eastbound traffic as part of the resurfacing works. The closure will be effective on Sunday for 3 days. Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Back. Saudi Arabia reported first monkeypox case. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has today reported the first case of monkeypox for a person returning from abroad. The case is subject to thorough medical care in accordance with the approved procedures. In addition to identify those who have been in contact with the infected person, yet none of them showed symptoms, said the Ministry of Health. It said that it would continue monitoring the developments of monkeypox and announced any detected cases in all transparency, citing its readiness and ability to deal with any development of the disease. Saudi Arabia opened visa online applications for umrah. People living outside Saudi Arabia can apply for umrah online starting July 14th, the Hajj and Umrah Ministry has announced. The first successful applicants may arrive by July 30th, the ministry said in a media release carried by the Saudi press agency. The date marks the start of the umrah season following Hajj that concluded this week without incidents, accidents or disease outbreaks among pilgrims. Visa requirements and further details are available on the website, while umrah performers from within the kingdom will be issued through Lejmana app, the statement added. Death toll rise to 11 as bad weather continues in Oman. The Royal Oman Police continued their search on Tuesday for 3 people who were swept into the sea on Sunday. 11 deaths were caused by heavy rains, rapid waters in the wadis, and high waves on beaches across Oman during Eid al-Adha holidays. A family of 8 Asians fell into the sea at Mughzail Beach in Dhofar Governorate, Oman's Civil Defense and Ambulance Authority said on Sunday. 3 were quickly rescued. 2 members, one of whom was a child, were found dead by the Civil Defense and Ambulance Authority on Tuesday. Kuwait remains cheapest Gulf country in 2022. A recent study showed Kuwait is the cheapest Gulf country in the first half of 2022 and the ninth cheapest in the Arab world. The ranking by Nimbu, the world's largest cost of living database, includes costs of groceries, eating out at restaurants, transportation, and utilities. 25 million kids missed routine vaccination because of COVID. About 25 million children worldwide have missed out on routine immunizations against common diseases like diphtheria, largely because of the coronavirus pandemic disrupted regular health services or triggered misinformation about vaccines, according to the UN. In a new report published Friday, the World Health Organization and UNICEF said their figures show 25 million children last year failed to get vaccinated against diphtheria, tetanus and pertussis, a marker for childhood immunization coverage, continuing a downward trend that began in data showed the vast majority of the children who failed to get immunized were living in developing countries. While vaccine coverage fell in every world region, the worst effects were seen in East Asia and the Pacific. COVID-19 case load crossed 556 million worldwide. The overall number of people who contracted the novel coronavirus topped 556.34 million worldwide, according to the results of a Reuters tally released today. COVID-19 infections have been reported in more than 210 countries and territories since the first cases were identified in China in December 2019. The United States reported the highest number of COVID-19 cases, followed by India, Brazil, Germany, and the United Kingdom. Sri Lankan president resigned. Wickremesinghe became interim Sri Lankan president and parliament to convene on Saturday. The Speaker of Sri Lanka's parliament said Friday that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has resigned and parliament will convene to choose a new leader. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe is sworn in as Sri Lanka's interim president Friday until parliament elects a successor to Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The Speaker of Sri Lanka's parliament and Rajapaksa resigned as president effective Thursday, and lawmakers will convene Saturday to choose a new leader. Their choice would serve out the remainder of Rajapaksa's term ending in 2024, said Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena. He expects the process to be done in 7 days. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I'm Vinod Narayanan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.